Are double stuffed Oreos actually double stuffed? We're putting Oreos to the ultimate test to see if double stuff is even worth it. My Oreo journey started at Walmart, where I cruised through the aisles in search for these two magnificent, glorious Oreo creations. And my wife tagged along too, because, you know, why not do Oreos with company?
Doing Oreos. Yeah.
After about the Oreos, I brought them home, and this is what we got. So just looking at the double stuff versus the regular, you can clearly see there's a big difference in the size of these Oreos, which makes me think that more than likely, there's probably less Oreos in the double stuff one than there is in the regular. The double stuffed Oreos actually weigh slightly more than the regular stuff, but both are the same price. So in theory, what you're buying is actually more. It's not double the more, but you're paying the same price for more stuff when you go double stuffed. I know I'm saying the word stuff a lot, but blame Oreo.
Stuffity stuff. Get your big fat Oreo stuff.
To start, we have to measure how the Oreos weigh alone by themselves. I also think I may have done it wrong, which I'll explain at the very end of the video. But for now, I'm using this very cheap and easily incorrect scale to get a rough estimate for how much these weigh. The regular Oreo weighed about 12 grams, while the double stuffed Oreo weighed 15. It's clear that both Oreos are different in their size, that's pretty obvious, but the weight difference here is interesting. If we take both the cookies off and weigh them alone, they weigh 8 grams on both sides. So that means Oreo isn't changing the cookies at all when they're stuffing it, which obviously makes a lot of sense, but I feel like some people might get confused. So it's not double the entire Oreo, just double the stuffing on the inside. With the double stuff measured at 15 and the regular stuff measured at 12, that means we have 3 extra grams that have to be inside the frosting. So we have to actually get the frosting off the cookie. It's time for some Oreo destruction. Let's go. This is me peeling off every cookie and trying to get all of this cream off. It's so hard to do, but it's really satisfying. Take a look. As we're cutting through these Oreos, I want you to remember that subscribing is the best thing you can do to make these videos happen again. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and join me for another experiment next week. I tried to use this knife to get as much of this stuffing off of the Oreo as I possibly could. There's still a little bit of residue that I don't think I could have gotten away. Now, obviously my scrape test here wasn't exactly fantastic, and of course I did eat a few along the way. But I think there's enough left of the cream for me to justify that this is a fairly scientific experiment. Of course, it'd be nice to actually go to the Oreo factory and look at it myself, but you know, that might not happen. Anyway, my initial results showed that every single Oreo that was original Oreo with no extra stuff weighed 3 grams of stuffing, 3 grams of cream deliciousness. For those of my United States friends who are confused by the gram measurement, that's about 39 ants. Across the board, even with things that I left behind, the 3 grams was actually a fairly good guess. Obviously not the best scale, but 3 grams nonetheless. But the double stuff is where things got a little interesting. When I measured the double stuff the first time, I got 7 grams. And then I did it again and I still got 7 grams for the stuffing. 15 grams for the entire thing, 8 grams for the cookies, and 7 grams for our stuffing. Adds up. I was genuinely surprised that Oreo is delivering on their promise of double stuff, but actually, that's more than double 3. That's actually 2.333333 times the amount of regular Oreos. So after I've eaten a bunch of different Oreos and threw some around to take some pretty cool pictures, that leads us to our final conclusion. Either my measurements are really bad, or sometimes the double the stuffing isn't actually double, and sometimes it is. With the double stuff and the regular stuff measured, it was a pretty clear indication that, well, the double stuff actually is double. It's just a little bit different than what you might expect. But the problem here doesn't really come from the fact that Oreo isn't lying to you about it being more stuff, but they're deceiving you slightly with the fact that double stuffed Oreos are way more calories, but they don't want you to know that. At least not really. The calorie suggestion shows 140, but in very, very tiny print on the front of the package, it says that's for 2 cookies, not 3. So it looks to a person who is unsuspecting and probably doesn't pay attention that double stuffed Oreos should be healthier for you because you're eating less calories. When obviously that's, not true. To any person who has a slight common sense, I feel like it shouldn't be true, but it's interesting that they switched from 2 cookies to 3 cookies to make that number a little bit better. With 3 cookies at 160 calories, you're looking at about like 53.3333333333 calories per regular Oreo. But with the double stuffed Oreos, you're looking at 70 calories per cookie. That's a pretty big difference. That's like over 25% more cookie. It's still delicious, but yeah, it's more calories. You can't eat as many of those.
And this is the part where I say that I know my numbers don't add up for the regular Oreo, so maybe this constitutes a part 2. Let me know if you want that in the comments down below, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.